Take a good look at Washington, D.C. Not the postcards, not the monuments at sunset, not the cherry blossoms. I mean the map. The strange angles, the massive circles, the long arrow-straight avenues that seem to point at something, or someone. Now here's the unsettling question. What if the capital of the United States wasn't just designed, but initiated? What if Washington, D.C. isn't just a seat of government, but a symbolic landscape quietly shaped by a centuries-old brotherhood sworn to secrecy? Tonight, we're pulling back the veil. This is the story of Freemasonry's hidden hand and how a secret society may have influenced the very bones of America's capital. I'm Clyde Chester, and this is History of United States. Before we go any further, we need to clear the fog. Freemasonry is not a satanic cult, a shadow government, or a Hollywood villain conspiracy. Freemasonry is, at its core, a fraternal organization. It emerged in Europe in the late 1600s, drawing inspiration from medieval stonemasons who built cathedrals, men who believed architecture wasn't just functional, but spiritual. Their tools, compasses, squares, plumb lines, became symbols. The square for morality, the compass for restraint, geometry as a reflection of divine order. Masons believed that by improving themselves morally and intellectually, they could help build a better society. And by the 1700s, Freemasonry had crossed the Atlantic straight into the heart of the American Revolution. This is where the story gets personal, because Freemasonry wasn't some fringe movement among the founders. It was mainstream. George Washington, a documented Freemason, initiated in Fredericksburg, Virginia. He didn't just attend lodge meetings, he led Masonic ceremonies in full regalia. When the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol was laid in 1793, Washington presided over the event wearing a Masonic apron. That's not speculation, that's history. Benjamin Franklin, Freemason, Grand Master of Pennsylvania. Franklin believed knowledge, reason, and symbolism were tools to elevate mankind. John Hancock, Paul Revere, James Monroe, all Freemasons. Now, important distinction. These men weren't trying to create a Masonic government, but they shared a symbolic language. And when it came time to build a new capital from scratch, that language mattered. Most capitals evolve organically. Washington, D.C. did not. It was designed deliberately, mathematically, symbolically. In 1791, President Washington hired Pierre Charles L'Enfant, a French-born engineer with grand ambitions. L'Enfant envisioned monumental scale, European-style boulevards, a city that would announce power before a single word was spoken. But here's the key detail many people miss. L'Enfant worked closely with Freemasons, and the surveying of the land was done by Andrew Ellicott, another Mason. Even the original boundary stones marking D.C.'s borders were placed using Masonic ritual. This wasn't just urban planning, this was ceremonial. Let's talk about the architecture. The Washington Monument, an obelisk, ancient Egyptian symbol of enlightenment, the sun, eternal life. Freemasons didn't invent the obelisk, but they revered ancient wisdom. At over 555 feet tall, the monument dominates the city skyline like a needle pointing heavenward. Coincidence? Maybe. But now consider this, the Capitol Dome. Positioned at the city's symbolic center. Directly beneath it lies the crypt, originally intended as Washington's burial place, a symbolic father beneath the nation's lawmakers. Above it, the Statue of Freedom. Below it, sacred geometry. The streets themselves, diagonal avenues intersecting perfect circles. Some researchers argue these shapes form pentagrams, Masonic compasses, ritualistic sightlines. Not all of these claims hold up under scrutiny, but some do. At the very least, the city reflects a Masonic obsession with geometry and order. Here's where responsible history matters. No credible evidence proves satanic rituals, occult sacrifices, or a secret Masonic government running America. But there is evidence of this. The founders believed symbols mattered. They believed architecture could educate citizens, inspire virtue, communicate ideals without words. Washington, D.C. was meant to teach Americans how to see power, not as a king's palace, but as a rational, enlightened republic. Freemasonry didn't secretly control America, but it shaped how America imagined itself, and that's arguably more powerful. Every time you see Washington, D.C. on the news, a protest on the mall, a president walking up Capitol steps, a ceremony beneath the obelisk, you're seeing a stage set over 230 years ago, designed by men who believed ideas should be carved into stone. Whether you view Freemasonry as a philosophical brotherhood, a networking club, or a historical curiosity, its fingerprints are undeniably embedded in the Capitol, hidden in plain sight. Washington, D.C. doesn't whisper its secrets. It waits. In angles, in shadows, in symbols most people walk past every day. The question isn't whether Freemasonry shaped the city. The real question is, what other American stories are hiding right in front of us, unnoticed, unexamined, and quietly shaping who we are? I'm Clyde Chester, and this is History of United States.